Good morning from New York. Today's subject, pardon, the the mystic fifth dimension, the expansion of the conscious time bubble in inner mind communication. Now we're going to go deep, folks. I've tried short and I've tried shallow, and in applications of inner mind communication in politics and a number of things. But today I'm going to go cosmic. All right. This ties together many different perspectives that of people going through NDEs, people experiencing the paranormal, uh, people experiencing a parallel uh, sense of existence. And it's about conscious time. I wish I could had the skill that I could draw something for you. But the fifth dimension, let's hit that first. Um, your conscious time is your sense of the past and the future, that you have a easy access to, and you can, it's a sense of a present sense of time, but that past, present, and future can be narrower or it can be more expansive. This goes into reincarnation as well. Why would we reincarnate? We would be moving from a narrow sense of conscious time to a broader one. And we see this in animal life and plant life that's a little less advanced than we are. And yeah. And their sense of, present time is like they're in the present time. They don't, not even conscious of that present time that much. They're just reacting to their environment and their needs and so on. But very narrow. And as that expands, you become more, self-aware, and that is an expansion of this consciousness of the past and the future, this easy access and sense of present time. If you picture the fifth dimension as, first let's picture your dramatic timeline in which you reside in the middle within a certain grasp of present, past, and future. And at the edges of that, you have that's the kid in you experiencing, life most directly, the dramatic self. And at the edges of this, you have objective empathy, which helps you from the present, feeling comfortable with and embracing a future. And compassionate empathy would helps you embrace the past more. And as this, as you improve in this time bubble starts. Picture a circle at this point. Picture a circle, and it has this width, but it has a height. And so picture yourself in the middle, the dramatic self, and you are experiencing a greater comfort with the past and the future, with forms of empathy, which are kind of caring, reflective ability, using objectivity and compassion. And this, now, up above your dramatic sense of a timeline is your inner artist. The inner artist is up in the fifth dimension. It sees it's your awareness of your timeline, and your awareness greater than that. And that's how sometimes people know the future before it comes, before we, in objective time, before we experience it. But they know it, that paranormal sort of thing. So-called, I know it's going to turn people off saying paranormal. It really, I don't know that that's the right word for it either. We're dealing with conscious time, and the things that happen that aren't objectively understood within the framework of that narrow linear perspective. There's an up above, that's your inner artist. That's another dimension in conscious time. And, this, yes, heralds back to the idea that consciousness is an innate part of the universe itself and all universes. That it's there's this echoing, there's this communication that exists. From the very basic levels to the more complex, the very small to the very large. There's communication going on, and a kind of consciousness which, varying in a smaller or greater way, is a bit of a self-awareness. But that self-awareness would not mean the kind of self-awareness that a human being has necessarily. It's because the very idea of self begins to dissolve, and you begin to feel this oneness with the universe, like you're one ripple amongst many ripples on a great pond. Or, so we're all part of the same thing, or the universe knowing itself. And now, below this timeline, we have the infant mind. And that's where you have no self-concept, really. You have a kind of self-awareness, but there's no self-concept. Like, you probably, I don't know, early enough in your development you wouldn't know that a mirror was you. I'm guessing this, but anyway, more primitive, more basic. It's really not like the advanced empathies. It's just very simple empathy. Just one baby cries and they all cry. It's like there's kind of joint feeling, but there isn't the developed empathies. And of course, the inner artist is I forget to tell you, it's the creative empathy, ability to see things in a bigger way, in a more using multiple points of view and bringing them together, and that's in an artful kind of way, and that's the kind of love, the creative empathy, and it enjoys your whole life like a great story, and you're the main character, and it calls you to expand that bubble and be the hero of love in that story. And it is all about love, the meeting of need, and which is survival, and which is part of evolution. But let's go to the infant mind again. There you have focus, the ability to focus, to be in regard to your feelings, which is your sense of self, your consciousness. You have the ability to be at play, you have the ability to focus, and you have the ability to express. And so, at that level, there really isn't a sense of self. There's no self-concept. So as you use these techniques, since when you're looking at, like in Zen, when you're meditating and so on, you drop the ego. It's not there. But that's different than the expansion that takes you toward your inner artist and a comfort there. That is it's an ability to grasp a larger sense of self, and to be engaged in the dramatic experience with the self-concept, which is expanding. And you say, what's the difference? And the difference is that you're in a kind of play between your fifth dimension view of your timeline and your sense of present and your dramatic self. There's this interchange there. It's more creative. It's a perspective that knows many different perspectives and sees how they connect. So that's a greater expansion of the sense of self. And the other is lacking self-concept. But as this picture the circle, as you become more comfortable, more in a state of love, which is the mystic path, you are gaining this greater comfort zone that I call the time bubble, the conscious time bubble. And I go down to experiences that I had in my mystic path was an attempt to hear Jesus, yeah. That was my picture of the inner artist at that time. Still is a part of it, and but I included other mystics in that picture. Krishna, which that mythology is more about the inner artist perspective, and whereas Jesus is more about the compassionate empathy perspective, and the Buddha was more about the objective perspective. All of these things that grow as your sense of a present time grows. And Muhammad, may peace be upon him, was all about trust in these higher perspectives, which many call God, So, I hope I'm doing a good job of this, and you let me know in the comments if you're totally lost and if you have any questions. That I was talking about my experience, and there would be a flood of intense love, just a kind of love that's self-sacrificing, that embraces a bigger sense of self, a sense of self beyond this time in this life. And it had, a voice would come through that had knowledge of people and specific things that had happened to them, and and how that was this was a typical thing, and very compassionate words. I want I want you to know I was with you then would come forth, and then it would be, and because of this, you have these blessings today, which was a typical pattern, but not always. Um, some of it, in one case, the pattern was there, but it wasn't spoken. It was inherent in the communication. It was a particular event in a person's life in which they saw the glory of the inner artist, you know, and had a vision, actually, a mystic vision. And this was something this person had never shared with anybody else. I think that's pretty typical with a lot of you out there who've had these kind of experiences, that you don't share it with other people. They're going to think you're crazy. You're not crazy. Okay? You're not crazy. You're just the opposite. You're saner. If you have a greater embrace of empathy in your life, you have a greater embrace of virtue, and you become more virtuous. And you know. So that's my presentation of the fifth dimension and the expansion of the time bubble. But you're going, it's a bubble. What's to the left, to the sides of the bubble, not just the flat circle. And that is our experience of a broader sense of self in terms of remembering past lives, but more so an awareness of yourself in other timelines. This can occur, where the selves in you communicate across the barrier of timelines. You're in this timeline, but every time you make a decision, you've entered into another. And that ability to make greater, more impacting decisions in your life has to do with choosing the universe, the timeline that you want to be in. That's your personal growth. Yeah. So, and that's embracing other yous. And in other words, when you slipped into this other timeline, there was a you already there. And so that's the expansion to the sides, is that you're embracing a larger sense of timelines. In other words, it's not just the timeline, it's moving to the left and the right, so to speak. So your bubble is moving like this. And you're joining together essentially with other selves and other timelines, you know. That's the picture that I wanted to draw for you today. But in practical terms, these practices of echo mind or echo love, inner mind communication, the echo love version, the 6 practices, which we teach on this channel, can expand your bubble. So it's a very cosmic view that I'm presenting today, beyond the practical applications to healing trauma and politics and so many other things. This mystic path, and this understanding, this core understanding of the mystic, the objective mystic, is, I don't know how to put this. We're all mystics, and some have a bigger bubble of conscious time that they're comfortable with. And, some of us have less, But, this is the path of the mystic, to grow that bubble. And actually, everybody has a sense of the truth of this, I believe. Kind of just below their awareness. But if you hear some of these things and it's like falling off a log for you to understand, then yeah, you have experienced tapping into that awareness, which kind of was always there. But but your life, your regular life, healing your trauma is very important to your performance here in this timeline that you're having at the moment. And that's important, healing the trauma, the times when you're helpless, the times when when the love flow just wasn't happening, and you had a feeling of helplessness. So this growing of the bubble, the mystic bubble, is creating a greater sense of empowerment. We are more empowered than some of the animals in our kingdom of life. And it's up to us to keep growing. And these practical things, like dealing with trauma and dealing with political decisions, and these things are a part of it. And right now, in the United States and some other countries too, we're dealing with people who want to be dictators. Selfishness is not in the path of the mystic. Jesus said something. Oh gosh, he said he's recorded as saying so many things that dovetail with this. It's wow. That is amazing. But it seems that I've said quite a bit, and I hope somebody sees this. So if you see it, you share it, please, so that others can see it, and subscribe if you are stimulated in any way by the presentation. And yeah, we are going to bringing in more voices, more of you who are mystics into this channel. A lot of people are scared to put their face on, and the public, eye, and I understand that, especially ladies. But some of you brave souls might be willing. And courage. That's something that's important, and we honor it because it's not selfish. It's expanded. This expansion of this time bubble, this conscious time bubble, is the expansion of love and connection. All right? And that's something you'll hear from people who had near-death experiences. Okay. And in regard to politics, right now, we do have a real problem on our hands. And I encourage you to use all of your forms of empathy in addressing the political problems in your country, and finding a way to join with other mystics and help save this planet and humanity. Give us a little longer to exist on this planet, and perhaps beyond. So 30 minutes is long enough. So I'll give you my Irish blessing and remind you of what Carl Sagan, the great physicist, had to say, and use my parting word, namaste, at the end, okay? May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rain falls soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand, or her hand, or its hand, however you see the source of all love. The great Carl Sagan said, "We are the universe knowing itself." And And that's summed up in the statement, Namaste, which honors that reality and that wonder of it that we're all a part of. Make a great day. Make a better day, at least. You know you can. Namaste.